So namaste and welcome everyone to Shankara Jayanti celebration.
For this celebration, we are joined not only by people in Mumbai, but also people in Delhi, I mean the ones that I am able to identify, Bangalore, Sydney, and UK, and Greece, and all the way to the US also, I think Tennessee. I might have missed one or two other places, but it's nice that all of us across the world, different people from different places, Alibag I remembered, can celebrate the glory of Shankara. Now I will call upon Swamini Brahma Prajnananda to talk about Vishnu Sahasranama Bhashya. So I thought it is appropriate. We have just had a quick glimpse of the Bhagavad Gita Bhashya, then Mundaka Upanishad Bhashya, of course Adhyasa Bhashya, and now the Bhashya that Bhagwan Shankaracharya wrote on Vishnu Sahasranama. So I want to just share a glimpse of it. The important thing to note about Vishnu Sahasranama is that, as most of us know, there are 1000 names in praise of Vishnu. And the words, if we say it without understanding, then any praise is not really praise. But with understanding, that praise can truly become knowledge. It's like when you understand the usefulness of a particular app, then you praise the app, it makes sense. So where there is knowledge, there is praise. As the story goes, Sri Shankaracharya wanted to write his first bhashya on the Upanishads. And so he asked one of his disciples to bring the Taittiriya Upanishad. But the disciple bought the manuscript of the Vishnu Sahasranama. This was repeated a second time, a third time. And so then Sri Shankaracharya, he felt that it seems like this is ordained by Bhagwan himself, and that this is something that needs to be written about before he undertook all the other bhashya works. So it makes Vishnu Sahasranama bhashya very important. An additional reason is also because 35 commentaries are written on Shankara's commentary. So we see in Vishnu Sahasranama that at the end of the war, Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas, approaches Bhishma. Of course, Bhishma was the one who gave it out to us, but he had learnt it from Rishi Sanaka. And in the presence of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, Bhishma responded to Yudhishthira's question. What was the question? Kimekam daivatam loke kim vapekam parayanam stuvantakam kamarchantaf prapnur yubanava shubham. Asking him, who is that Supreme Lord of all, who is that refuge of all, by praising whom can one gain any grace of all that is good and all that is the ultimate end? And so there are about 6 total questions, and all the 6 questions are interconnected, and then Bhishma points out to Narayana as the one answer. Shankaracharya has written 3 invocatory shlokas. In the first verse, he salutes Shri Krishna as Parama Brahma, Atma, and also as the Guru. Second verse, Sage Vyasa, and third verse, he praises the Sahasranama. So because I want to utter the words of Shankaracharya, I will say the first verse. Satchidananda Rupaya Krishnaya Klishtakarine Namo Vedanta Vedyaya Gurave Buddhi Sakshine. So my namaskar to Bhagwan Krishna, whose nature itself is Satchidananda, who acts effortlessly, who is to be known through Vedanta, and who is in the form of one's Guru and also as the witness of the intellect. I want to highlight 3 points about Sahasranama Bhashya. As we know, Bhashya is a commentary, and the words, the 1000 words, are grouped into three in terms of what they are actually referring to. So one type of word is the Swarupa word, which is referring to the nature of Ishvara, like Satyam, so that which exists in all three periods of time, or as the previous presentation referred to it as PPF. Okay. Second type of word is which reveals Ishvara as the cause of the Jagat. Now Ishvara is both he and she. He as in from the standpoint of the intelligent cause, and she as in from the standpoint of the material cause. The third type of word that we find in the Sahasranama are the glories of the manifest form, that is the Avatara. So like Sri Rama, Sri Krishna. So the first thing about the Bhashya is that in understanding the three types of words, it deepens our knowledge and our connection and our relationship with Saguna Brahman, which leads us to the understanding of Nirguna Brahman. The second aspect of the Bhashya I want to highlight is the vision of Ekameva Dvitiyam. So one without a second. Just as all the rivers lead to the same ocean, Shankaracharya shows us that the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahma Sutras, the Puranas are all pointing to that Ekam only, and I will illustrate that through an example a little later. So what is interesting to note is that in the Bhashya there are 9 of 18 Puranas mentioned, 3 of the 18 Upapuranas mentioned, 5 Upanishads mentioned, 4 Smritis including Manu Smriti, Ramayana is referred to 3 to 4 times, and certain sections of Mahabharata are also highlighted. So it just helps us to expand our understanding of this entire religious, lovely oral tradition that we have, and also see how all of it is leading to one vision. The third and the last point I want to highlight is how Shankaracharya very consistently has used the methodology of Adhyaropa Apavada. So this methodology of first being able to see the superimposition Adhyaropa and its negation Apavada, and I will illustrate how he does that so brilliantly. He starts right away in the first question. Okay, so we remember Yudhishthira, he asked Bhishma, Kimekam Daivatam Loke. So on this Eka Deva, Shankara has a few things to say. And the question will obviously arise, does it mean that the Deva is one, Jiva is another? So Deva and Jiva, are they different? To point out that they are one, Shankara quotes from the Upanishads, Shveta Shvatara Upanishad. Eko devaha sarvabhuteshu godhaha sarvavyapi sarvabhutantaratma karmadhyakshaha sarvabhutadivasa sakshi cheta kevalo nirgunascha. So here what he's, just by quoting an Upanishad, he answers the doubt that one person can have. Ekadeva means obviously there is only one Deva, one without a second. Then just in case we might localize this Ekadeva, he will say Sarva Vyapi, all pervasive. Oh, all pervasive, it could still be other than me. No. Sarva Bhutantaratma is the Atma of all beings present in each and every being, and at the same time transcends all beings. Then he is also Karma Dhyaksha. How do I understand this world? Oh well, the one who presides over the laws of karma and gives the results. Then what is the basis of me as a person? Sarva Bhutadivasa, one who is the Adhisthana of all beings. He is the Atma, he is Sakshi, Cheta, Kevalaha, the witness in the form of this non-dual Chaitanya, and Nirgunam. Then there can be some other questions. So just with this one word, this Ekadeva, which was a question, Yudhishthira's question, he has actually expanded our vision of what that one Deva is in the light of the Upanishads. Then He mentions Bhagavad Gita also. We are familiar this Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha and so on. There are many such verses. Again, a doubt can arise. If there is only one Deva, then why do the Puranas talk about so many Devatas like Brahmaji, Vishnu, Shiva and others? And then there are people who fight that my Devata is more superior than yours. So he quotes from the Puranas itself, showing that one Lord assumes various names and forms, and that what the Puranas are also talking about is Advaita. So in Vishnu Purana, he says, Srishti Sthiti Antakaranim Brahma Vishnu Shivatmikam Sa Samyam Yati Bhagavan Eka Eva Janardanaha. So it is this one Janardanaha that assumes different forms such as Brahmaji, Vishnu, Shiva and so on, depending on the kind of functions that are required. So Srishti Sthiti Samahara. Then further in Vishnu Purana, we find that Sri Krishna is telling Shiva, O Shankara, you are avibhinnaha, you are not separate from me. Whatever abhaya, the fearlessness that is given by you, it is given by me. So which I am, with the reality that I am, that you and this Jagat, the Devas, Asuras and all men are. So those who are avidya mohitatmana, the ones who are deluded by avidya, ignorance, they are the ones who see and talk of bheda, difference between us. Okay, if you were still not convinced, no problem. In the Bhavishottara Purana, Shiva says, whoever sees me or Brahmaji as different from Vishnu, these deluded duratmas are given to wrong reasoning, and hold your breath, they will be roasted in Naraka, imagine. Okay, so they are actually committing a papa equal to Brahma Hatya, killing a learned Brahmana. So this is a little daunting, huh? That seeing difference in Shiva and Vishnu is a papa, okay, is a mistake. Then again, finally in the Harivamsha, Shiva says in the Kailasha Yatra portion, O Janardana, I am you who is all pervasive and you are me. There is no difference between us in all the three worlds, either by name or by content. And whatever are your great names, like Vishnu, all the words that are there in Vishnu Sahasrama, they are mine also. So there is no need for further analysis or doubt. Any worship that is done to you is seva that is done to me. And anyone who shows dvesha towards you shows it to me. So we find that Adi Shankaracharya, he upholds the methodology of Adhyaropa Apavada and reveals the vision of Ekameva Advitiyam. So very beautiful bhashya and very brief also. So now, having spoken about the greatness of the bhashya, just a tiny glimpse, I am inviting all of you to make a sankalpa, okay, a resolve, that starting on Tuesday, which is Shankara Jayanti, and finishing by Guru Purnima, that's 4th July, okay, at least a good 60 days away, we read Vishnu Sahasranama. We complete the reading, it's just a little less than 600 pages. Now luckily for us, the meaning of each of these words is available in the book called Vishnu Sahasranama by Pujya Swamiji. Some of you already have it, and it includes some words of the bhashya. It can also be ordered from Arsha Vidya bookstore. Alternatively, we have a soft copy of the book based on Pujya Swamiji's teachings, where there are some of my editions as well. And by tomorrow, I hope to upload it on the website www.discoveratma.com, so you can access that soft copy in case you do not have a hard copy. But I really think that it's a wonderful sadhana to have, to see and understand the glory of Ishvara as a supplement to your other regular Vedanta classes. So I think it's a sankalpa that most of us can take up, and I invite all of you to do that. So starting from Shankara Jayanti on Tuesday all the way to Guru Purnima, let that be your offering to this entire parampara, starting with Narayana himself. Sarvam Brahmarpanam Astu.